All right, friends. Happy Friday and welcome to this session. Let me ask you a very simple question. Have you ever sat in an interview and you felt like you have been asked a real world question and your mind completely goes blank? Many of us know Scrum Guide. We know the theory, we have the certificate, but we still freeze. Not because we don't know the concepts, it's because you can't fake experience. You can't read a book and learn how to swim. So today, it's not just a webinar, it's a reality check. But before we get into that, I have got to see the results. Rajalakshmi, you're there? I want to take a massive moment to congratulate Lakshmi. She just has cracked an incredible job offer. So, Lakshmi, you would like to share, first of all, congratulations once again, and you would like to share your journey?
Absolutely, Anand. Hope everyone is able to hear me.
Yes.
All right. So, hi everyone. I am Rajalakshmi Dandu. Recently, I have cracked a job as a Scrum lead. Right. So that's the designation I've been appointed as. So I know Anand since I was doing my professional Scrum certification. Right. I think it's over a year that I have a kind of professional connect with Anand. So the journey has begun 1 year ago with the one session called, just like this one, what I'm having right now with you guys. So that actually changed my mind to get into the process of, how Scrum is going to enter the life and change everything, especially with me. So then I decided that whatever it is going to be, I want to be a Scrum Master. So down the line, I have completed all my certifications, just not, just by reading bookish stuff. I get practical knowledge, I get hands-on experience, and also I went through actual real-world example how it helped. And trust me, Anand had, good set of questions, how interviewer, from the interviewer's perspective, and how a real-world example works. So all this together, I had a good amount of interviews that I attended and I did choose the best out of it. Trust me, there is so many things Anand has kept for us, and we just have to go there and get it. That's what I did, especially. And today I'm in front of you with before no Scrum experience where I'm standing today. It's pack of experience, real world, also the dashboards. Even if my client is coming up today, Anand, I hope you remember today was the client into section what we had. He was really awestruck after hearing that. He was very much impressed. He's like, is that agile so simple? I said, it depends on how you say it. It's not what you say it. So that's what guys Anand follows. It's not what he says, it's how he says. It becomes everything very simple. Trust me, it is not that difficult what we think, unless I have gone through that. So that's why I'm able to share my experience with you. And this is a very incredible journey, Anand. And I'm pretty much sure I'll be continuing with you. And thank you so much for all the guidance. And whatever I am today as a Scrum Master, I would give the whole and soul credit to you, apart from whatever I did in the background. Thank you so much for all this.
Congratulations, Lakshmi. You have actually put the hard work and you earned this completely. I was just part of your journey. And for those who are listening, she did not recite mugged up interview questions or answers. She actually shared her own journey during the interview, the one that she has practiced. So when interviewers ask, when in the real world also she's getting asked, she's just sharing what she has done. And that's what we are going to experience today. Many times people look into agile in different pockets. They look into agile as separate design thinking, separate safe, separate Jira, separate Scrum. But the real world is not so much demarcated black and white. It's a dirty picture, which starts with design thinking itself when the customer gives you a business problem. And we are going to start with that. Anu, are you there? Let me check if Anu has joined or Satya. Himanshu, are you there?
Yes, Anand, I'm here.
Himanshu, if you may want to present your design thinking journey.
For sure. Just give me a second. I'm preparing my screen to share.
Sure. So what happens in the real world is, friends, a business owner will be giving you a business problem to solve. That's it. My debit card is failing. My fire alarms are not working properly. They'll give you a business problem. How do you take through that journey? That's what Himanshu is going to show you, how he has used it to solve a real case study.
Thank you, Anand. First of all, I would like to, few things clarify before we go ahead. So basically, what we do here is with product management discovery plan, what we understand is that what is the issue, how the customer is facing that issue, what at what stage, what time, or how they are feeling. Based on that, we finalize and hypothesize solutions. In that solution, we then fix one or two high level solution which can improve very quickly and give maximum result. Based on that, we create those solution and put it into our development and deliver it quickly. So let me start with the one problem that we had, is that one of the organization had a very, initiated a queue, very fast uptick in the returns. And we heard the complaints and feedbacks where we are not sure about the product quality and we are not sure about the return policies and everything. So we are returning the product. So that impacted our long time brand value. Basically, when customer doesn't trust on your product, customer doesn't buy from you, and one time customer gone is like lost business forever. So what we did, we initiated with clarifying the business statement. The problem statement was very clear where we put here. Based on this uh, problem, then we find out with different interview techniques, with different, first base interviews, reviews and feedbacks and everything. We find out what kind of customer persona will be there. So we find out, we gave a name, random name of, for an example, hesitant Heather, a customer persona who is between 28 to 35 age, which is mid-income, and they value smart product, smart purchases, and they focus on sustainability. Now, from that customer persona, we developed empathy map. And what is empathy map? It states here that we deeply understand the users, what they are saying, what they are thinking, what they are doing, and what are they feel, what they where they are feeling the maximum pain, and based on that maximum pain area, what we can deliver as a solution. So here, and then we create a customer journey map. So from starting point A to starting point to ending point E, A, B, C, D, E. In between this stage, what they might be facing. So here we create that kind of customer journey mapping. Returns and replacement, those activities starts post purchase. When customer opens the box and they opens their purchase, they probably once they open, they will always visualize, okay, the thing which I saw on the website and the reality which I have in hand, is it matching? But if there is a slight change in color, our reptilian mind starts saying that, okay, no, something is wrong. I'm not okay with this. My purchase has gone wrong. My money has wasted. Those kind of issues starts here. So here the customer would be feeling regretful or misled. After that, the immediate thing that we do is that we start seeing the return policies. Can we do something about it? If our website has very clear return policies and windows and everything, customer will be little bit okay. But before, we didn't have that. So at that time, our customer, which we named as hesitant Heather, was feeling irritated and suspicious. After that, we have to validate that hurdle. And once she reads the policy, it says original condition has to be maintained. Now, as a customer, what does it mean, original condition? So if there are two layers of plastic, one is open, one is not, is it the same like initial condition? I don't know. So I will be feeling anxious or confused. After that, even if I want to return, then I have to print out one QR form, update the conditions, everything, and then send it to logistics partner, that's also an additional burden. I'm already dissatisfied with the product, and on top of that, I have to take all these steps just to return. That's not okay at the time. And once you do that, you don't even know where your product is right now. Do you have to wait for 24 hours, 1 day, 7 days, or 7 business working days? You will never know. So this is how customer journey mapping we plan out. Based on that, we identified what actions they will be taking, what thoughts they will be having at this journey, what feelings they will have, what are pain points, and at that each individual steps, what are the possible opportunity as a business provider from our side that we can do. Based on that, we identified that between these 3 steps, there is a maximum point of pain area for the customer. On that area, these are the 3 possible solutions. Once we have this area, then we identify that, okay, if that is the case, how might we improve that particular experience? So once we go back to the worksheet, our next step is point of maximum pain. So between journey number 2, 3, 4, there is a maximum point. On that point, we finalize that the lack of clarity is basically stopping her. Panic buying, panic returning, that clarity, she doesn't have it. Then we transform that information into a problem statement, clear problem statement. And why do we do that? We will come into the next one. Hesitant Heather is struggling to determine if her recent purchase is eligible for a return because the current policy is written in complex structure and everything, and she feels trapped. And because she is feeling trapped, her product experience is subpar and she is expecting a significant loss. She needs a quick way to confidently and quickly understand her options so she can resolve her product issue without fear of any financial loss or wasted effort. If that is improved or if that is addressed, as a customer, I will be a little bit okay that even if the product is not okay, at some point, I have backup net ready with me. So I won't be worrying about this thing. Based on that,
I'll
let's,
just pause here.
yeah,
Thanks,
yeah,
Himanshu. Now, if you see, friends, business gave you the business problem, not the customer problem.
yeah,
It is for you to find the customer problem. Business will say, hey, my revenue is getting lost. But you can't get the revenue without understanding, because finally money comes from the customer, without understanding what is the pain point of the customer. And once you remove the customer problem, then only customer will help you get your business problem solved. And that is where design thinking comes into picture. And you saw, right, how Himanshu took us right from the business problem to the empathy mapping, persona, empathy mapping, customer journey mapping. Finally, he has defined the customer problem statement after how might we.
yeah.
Himanshu, if you may quickly show what were the features, with the limited time, what were the epics and features that we
Definitely.
got generated?
Okay. Just to keep a lining in line understanding, I'll just have a one word. So based on the customer problems that we have, we create how might we improve that situation problems, right? Once you identify that those statements, based on that, we create a smart product goal that okay, these are the statements. Based on that, if we deliver this solution, this will be our problem. Then we put everything into lean canvas, create entire problem, solution, metrics, and everything. Then we select the top selection, top opportunity. Then we create MVP, and based on that MVP, that what we have finalized, based on that MVP, what we decided, basically was to synthesize the one concept of QR portal and with the optional progress bar. Once we have that, Epic will be created into what kind of features, all of the features that Epic will have. That epic and that features will be prioritized based on the WSGIF and RISE prioritization metrics. So based on that, business value, critical risk, job size, everything will be scored. And based on both different prioritization metrics, we will finalize one solution that we can do one. And Post that, we create entire structure. Let me show you one, what kind of feature storming. So these are all the features that we discussed and put it into perspective. This is the metrics that we used and what kind of epic and user stories it will be. And once we do that, we create also product release note. And once we put into picture, once we release the MVP post, that some survey, we also launched a survey which will be having this kind of questions. And once we start to get results, and once we start to get little bit of feedbacks, we also create case study, what we learned and how better we can improve for the next time. So I think, Anand, I have covered overall view.
Very well indeed.
Yeah.
And now Himanshu is in a product owner journey. Ask him any question on that. He'll be answering it because he has actually done that step by step. Same was the case with Anu. Anu comes from travel industry. Anu also did her own design thinking. She may not be able to present it out, but Anu, what was your experience running your own design thinking workshop?
Yeah, it was amazing, Anand. There were a lot of learnings for me in this process. Like, if I'll take 2 minutes to explain my learnings, as we start with a business problem, I felt that the next three steps were directly linked to it. For example, once I have the business problem, what are the next three actions I am supposed to take? I need to speak to the customer. I need to empathize with the customer and understand what is their journey, what are they feeling. And if you looked at the design thinking exercise that Himanshu just showed, the outcome of connecting with the customers is number one, we have a customer persona in place. Number two, we create an empathy map to understand how is the customer feeling, what is he thinking, what is he saying, and what is he finally doing because of what he feels and what he goes through. And that also leads us to the customer journey map. So these three steps are all linked to my understanding of interacting with the customer. It could be through interview questions, it could be through a survey, but it is so important to understand the customer to start. Post that, the next steps were logically following the analysis of the customer journey. After that, we came up with, okay, I know the business problem statement, but what is the outcome of me connecting with the customer? Now I can define a customer problem statement. And if I'm able to solve the customer problem statement, that will automatically solve the business problem statement. So going from here, step by step, each step is so logically connected that though I have worked in real life on these problems, but going through this process with Anand, it gave me new insights about, how I can apply this into my work as a product owner. And I really learned a lot, Anand.
Anu, I remember so many surveys and interview questions you did with the other fellow people for your own
Yeah,
business problem.
yeah,
All right, friends. Now that the design thinking exercise is done for different business problems, Anu is also into a product owner stream on her own journey. Then comes alignment in the across organization. And that is where SAFE comes into picture. And what's the power and magic of SAFE? PI planning. And for that, Lakshmi, do you have access to your system? Awesome. Lakshmi will then show her project, how she blends into the PI planning. Lakshmi, over to
Uh,
you.
sure. Uh, just give me a second. I'm sharing my screen. And meanwhile, just Anand want to clear the crowd that I did join this boot camp, I think in the month of February itself. And where in the March I'm sitting in one of the organization. So
Great journey.
trust me, it is. So I hope everyone is able to see the screen.
Yes, we can see. And if you can give a background of your project, you had a different project that you were running.
Yes. So team, this is completely into a shopping cart, right? So it's an e-commerce website. What one of the US-based company wants to actually build one of the nicest, not copying any other websites and any other e-commerce where, they're going to take loads of time to just sit on it. Trust me, to build a actual e-commerce website, it's going to take turnaround that it would be so high. It could go for n number of months. Trust me, it's like 7 months, 8 months. It keeps going, right? There is no particular planner. But, as per Anand's suggestion, when I came up with this problem, so we had, turnaround stating that, what, this is an enterprise level where we have to understand what exactly they are looking for. That's when, SAFE came into picture where we are divided into multiple teams, right? And in our multiple aspects, we had multiple features being aligned. If you can see right now, this is the feature board. I hope everyone can see. I'll just, go a bit nearby so that you guys can see this. Hope able to see this, everyone?
Yeah, it's very clear.
All right. So, guys, just don't mind that, it would be Lakshmi somewhere I see so big, things and somewhere small because it's all the features what we have categorized. For example, payment gateway is one of the feature. Checkout process is one of the feature for us. Login, logout. So, based on the prioritization, if you can see, right, we applied a concept of weighted shortest job first. So you will get to know insights about it. You may able to relate to me after a while, after this session. But trust me, this is how we get to segregate the features. Once the features are being segregated, we have to align the user stories to it. Remember one thing: one feature may have multiple user stories, guys. I hope this is also visible. If it's not,
Yes,
you
yes,
will
we
be able
can.
to see it right now. All right. Thank you for the confirmation. So, guys, based on the alignment that we did in the board feature board, and right now you're able to see these are the user stories, right? So, for the user stories, we can plan our capacity and we can plan the load. Load is the amount of work that could be done, an actual amount of capacity that we have the work that is in the form of a load, if you can see. And we have created our estimations. If you can see this over here, we have created our estimations. You may get confused what is this lines right now coming from nowhere. I'll just explain you this in a while. But these are the story points. When you hover it, you will be able to see. All right. So till now, I hope I'm able to make you understand with the user stories how it comes into picture. Now, for each and every user story, there may be a risk, there might be a dependency. For one user story, it could be multiple risks and multiple dependencies. For certain user stories, it could be single, a single kind of stuff. But not necessarily everything will have a same journey. For example, if you can see for this particular user story, you can see the risk that I have, attached it to. And this is one of the risks. If you can see it clearly, it is something under the risk factor. I can explain you end to end, but it is going to consume more time. So hence I'm giving you an outline right now. So for the same user story, you have a dependency from the external factor. It could be external API that we are looking for. We are looking for vendor, approval. It could be anything. So this is how we track and where you can see as a clear board. Let me just show you this PI planning board that I was talking about. Under one umbrella, you'll be able to see everything. Right now, I have worked on whatever it is required under my team. It's not that everything it is written will come over here. All right. So this is the art board. Now it comes to objectives. There are two kind of objective, guys. One is, business, the objective. One could be committed, other could be uncommitted. So we have only committed, actually we have a committed one right now. Uncommitted, we have something brainstorming at the moment, which could be at any point of time. And the business value, which has already been given by our owners. So right now, this is what we are working upon. And I hope I was able to give a brief outline about this. Is there anything that you want to add on?
You are very good, Lakshmi. And the way you presented in the PIplanning.io, and PIplanning.io is a Scale Agile Framework's own product. And the way you showed your project, that was really, really awesome. Who would believe that you just now showed us a project which was your own brainchild project, right?
Yes. And people will be definitely impressed because within short span of time, and they were nowhere able to present in the, in the system, and I was able to come and show this, they were really surprised.
And now ask her anything about SAFe. And she'll just show you. She'll not talk about it. She did not just memorize the answers, right? She has actually done that. But planning is not everything. The real execution is where the rubber meets the road. And now I would be inviting Pragati to show how she, as a Scrum Master, was trying to put all these things into Scrum execution. But here there's a twist. We have all seen the normal sprint execution and those product backlog items. She's taking a different twist to that. She's going to show us Gemba Walk, how she will be helping the team implement lean thinking within her area, and how will those improvements be taken into sprint execution. And she has done a great job on that. Pragati, what do you want to share your work?
Yes, Anand. Thank you. Thank you for giving this opportunity. I'm sharing my screen. Let me know once it's visible.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, lean is a kind of lean thinking. Genba work is a lean thinking of the system to understand what is the actual problem in the system. First of all, we know that a Genba work, it is like a understand while walking process. So here is also same applied in our Scrum team. So some of the team members are working in a silos. They are facing some of the problems in their system, in their workflow. And here is a framework or a tool to identify the actual friction, the gap, and find out the root analysis. The approach here is, first of all, understand the workflow with the complete system. Here you can see these are these roles and where they are working in their actual project, and some of they have find the blockers. So when I understand and talk with them, I find out some of the gaps while they are working, while they are communicating within themselves or within cross-functional team. So in the deep analysis, with the 5 analysis, find out the lean waste. So there are, if you find like a different types of the waste types, which are having the different impact and different reason of findings. So once we have find out the waste with the system, then we find out the action, root cause. Why is it happening? Why this process is stopped? Why any activity is stopped in their project, in their Scrum board? Then we find out the actions for on the top level actions. What we can be do best with that. Also understand to find out this action. We had the points that is the matrices. So here the flow efficiency, I as a Scrum Master, I want to increase the flow efficiency of the team. So I find out the actions, what can be done. So these are the actions, top level actions. Then now we have to convert. These are the all the findings, but we need in the actionable format that the team should work on these actions with their space, with their project commitment. So with reference to Scrum matrices and the we find out the actionable DOR. So with this at the top level, we find out the stories to be added on the Jira with the complete team. So I'm sharing the another screen now.
I'll just pause you, Pragati, over here. So
Yes.
she actually did a Gemba work with her team. She found out the areas of improvement. She tracked those in a spreadsheet. And then, so that those are actionable, she has moved them all in Jira. And now that's what she's going to show. She is running her own project. Like a product owner is trying to improve the product. She is a product owner of process, a Scrum process. She's trying to improve the Scrum process. And for that, she has identified improvements and she's having her own backlog, TI backlog, team improvement backlog. Pragati, you want to explain that?
Yes, definitely. So as Anand said, so these are the team improvements. We have, as we know that we have find out some of the actions. Now those are all converted into the actionable items in the Jira. And with the reference to DOR and DOD, that is definition of ready, to start with those actions, we have all find out all required pointers here. As you can see, this is my third slide I'm showing, that Confluence page. So these are the definition of ready to start all these actions, these stories for respective team members to proceed. So as you can see on the Jira, the tasks which are assigned, uh, which are drilled down with the respective acceptance area, and definitely this will help with the required prioritization of and the considering the my Scrum matrices, definition of done and definition of complete done. So this we have find out, and this all what I want to discuss and show you the team.
Thanks, Pragati. And how's the progress of your Jira dashboard? Do you mind showing that?
Yeah, sure. So on the Jira dashboard, we have the feature for creating the filters, some basic filters, and the rich filter
You may just show the
to
dashboard for
show.
now.
Okay,
How is
dashboard.
it looking? It might not be looking very good. You're still work in progress.
Yes.
I think under
It's
dashboards,
coming
you'll
up.
find it.
Yes, it okay, yeah. So this is the statistics. Yeah. So this is the
So
smart gate
she's
and this is the
designing an entire
statistics.
dashboard using rich filters. That's why you will not find these usual filter gadgets which are available out of the box. Awesome, Pragati. Thanks for highlighting that.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you, team.
And Bindu, do you want to show your matrices?
Yes, sure, Anand. Okay, so I think we are already on a storyline, and at the end, everybody needs what are the matrices, what are the outcomes. But before that, hearty congratulations, Raj Lakshmi. It was a wonderful win, and really proud of you.
Thank you.
Now, okay, so now, team, understand one thing. Okay, why does anybody need a matrice? Of course, one is a very standard answer is performance. Not only that, but it also measures if there is any change in organization behavior needed or any change that needs to be done or even in the culture for that matter. Okay, and just imagine without a matrix for a leadership, how will they know whether their investment is really taking, is it going in the right direction, whether there is a sustainable growth or not. Okay, so with that agenda in mind, okay, I first reach out to the stakeholders exactly what is their agenda, what they are wanting from the matrices. Though we had many matrices, there is a ADO board, right, wherein we can create dashboards, and Pragati also showed the dashboard which we can create on the Jira. So there were 3 pointers that the leadership gave were: first is time to market. They want clear understanding of any feature or how and when can it be delivered to any business. Okay. Secondly, they wanted to understand was productivity. How is a team progressing? Are we increasing on the productivity as we are moving forward or whether there is a decline? Yeah. And the third most important thing, I think it is a fundamental quality. Okay. Without quality, even if you are delivering something, doesn't make any sense. Okay. So to start with, what was the approach that we had taken was, so let me share my screen, team. Okay. So the very first approach that we took was nothing but understand where we are today. Okay. What is the current state? Is my screen visible, Anand and all?
It's just coming in a minute.
It's visible.
Okay. So basically, we first need to understand what is a pain area. Where are we today? Okay. And based on these three parameters, like I said, time to market, then we have productivity and quality. Correct. So when you say time to market, what is the best first matrix that comes in mind? It is obviously cycle time. That is nothing but the time when any feature or user story is activated to closed. Then comes the lead time, that is created to closed. Okay. Very straightforward matrices. So these three matrices were identified. Okay. Then coming to productivity. So when we talk about productivity, everybody thinks it is a velocity. Yeah. So one aspect is surely velocity. However, there are many other things. A velocity cannot define a team's performance. It has many other parameters, and velocity is just a measure so that we understand, okay, how is the progress, whether the team is able to deliver what they are planning. Okay. So all these aspects were put in. Okay. So we decided for productivity, let's gather velocity, predictability, capacity utilization. Yeah. And then coming to quality, we decided, okay, quality means defect. So let's understand what is the defect density of the team. Yeah. Then how many defects are getting escaped to the production. Then test coverage. What is the test coverage of the unit test cases? What is the test coverage of the automation? Okay. So that is how we identified these matrices. The approach was this. Then coming to improvisation or understanding where we stand. Okay. So this was a very good uh, idea or a template that Anand gave us, okay, wherein we could it actually gave a very clear understanding of the focus area. For example, first focus area is flow, right? Flow efficiency. So how do we know whether it is flowing correctly, whether our cycle time is within the limits or whether it is not? And similarly, the other parameters like productivity, predictability, quality, like I already explained. Okay. There, then we come to what is the frequency of measurement. So whether feature is usually okay. The projects I have worked on, feature is usually closed within a quarter. Okay. And very rare small features, maybe they get closed within a sprint, or if there is I mean, that is how it works and what I have seen the industry trend for my examples. So we measure it quarterly. Then coming to the cycle time for stories, it is obviously sprint wise. Yeah. So that is when we understood. So for me, the source of data or source of truth was always Azure DevOps board. Okay, it was not a Jira for me, but yeah, it was Azure DevOps board. Then how am I going to present it? Okay, whether it's going to be a line chart, whether a pie chart, or whether a graph. So first draft it, try to visualize it. Okay, so that you get a clear understanding of when it is going to be presentable. You know where to start from. Okay. Then understand the current baseline. This is the moment of truth, team. Okay, this is the transparency that each one should get on board so that we have any improvement seen. Yeah. So if you see let me explain only just one or two, because I know the other team members are there and Anand has to share many other views. So yes, so the cycle time, if you see, the cycle time for us was 50 days. That means almost 2 months, or maybe 4 sprint to 5 sprints. Okay, so it was very high, the time to market. Okay, so that is when we decided, okay, let's create a desired baseline of 25 days and see how we can progress. So how did we decide on these desired baselines? I mean, it was obviously like the first velocity, how we derive it, right? The same thing, we derive it on a base that, okay, it may be achievable, seeing the average, the maximum number of features. Yeah. Then we decided to derive a timeline for it. Okay, so in the same manner, we understood what is our current baseline. We created a desired baseline. We started the measurement. Okay, and that is how, at the end, quarter by quarter, we created this matrices. Okay, and we shared it with the leadership. So this was the approach taken, and there was a very, very clear indication from I mean, we got very good inputs and feedback from the leadership. They asked us very good questions wherein things became very clear for us as well. So I think that's all from my side. Anand, is there anything else?
No, that was wonderful, Bindu. And Bindu did this in a real organization. She got some great appreciation
Yes.
from senior management on her work. But friends, change is not so easy. It's not like you felt like doing it and everyone suddenly agreed to it. There's a change management involved, people side of the change management. And here comes Aruna. Aruna would be sharing her story, how she has narrated a convincing story. Aruna, over to you.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Let me share my screen. Hope it is visible.
Yes, it is. So you may just give us a high-level overview. What was your approach?
Yes. So my friends Pragati and Bindu, they have set the stage. They have given the introduction. Pragati identified the improvements from the Scrum team perspective. There could be changes from product perspective also. And Bindu gave the how metrics can allow us to, or they can indicate there is some change required. So yes, the changes, we understood that changes are required, but to implement the change, we cannot just go and say, hey team, we will start doing this process. Now we are doing this. Now again, from this day onwards, we are going to start. And it will be difficult to um, allow the team or make the team agree to the change. Sometimes it might need change at org level or at a from a higher level. We need to enforce or we need to make that process changes inculcate into the team. So my approach was now one more example that I can quote here is if I say, okay, Bindu gave an example, their cycle time was 50 days and their new baseline that they wanted to create was for 25 days. Now, if I go and say, hey team, we'll make this as 25 days, we will reach the market early so that we'll get more customer and more visibility. Then people will say, oh no, 25 days, it is too, we are just cutting it short because people are used to work for 50 days. And now if I suddenly go and say that 25 days we have to work, they will come up with all reasons not to agree for that. So the first thing is we have to create the urgency and highlight the negative impact of that. Instead of telling the positive things that they are going to gain from the change, we have to say, if you are not doing this, you are going to lose. You are going, this is the loss that you will face. So then the team or anybody who has to undergo the change or adopt the changes will start thinking. So this is one of the change management process basically is the implementation of Kotter's method. One of the great book that Anand made us to introduced us. It was Our Iceberg is Melting from John Cotter, which gives a very nice narrative of how the change can be implemented. So taking that as a basis, I have come up with this. So as I said, the initiation process is to create the urgency and let the people know the negative impact. So these were some of the changes that I observed based on the metrics and other observations. Say, for example, the cycle time was exceeding the defined standard. It was impacting the lead time. And team was not ready to do the Jira updates or the ticket updates regularly, which was showing an incorrect metrics. Like the cycle time, the burn down chart was not showing their actual effort. Then there was a spillover. So, and there was WIP limit was huge. And the most important thing, the test coverage and the defect density, it was always very good. It was green. However, we were getting defect leakage as 40%, which was like a red alert. So these are some of the pain areas or the impacted areas which needed improvement. So I identified all these, and here I have mentioned Sridhar, who is the manager. So I approached and had a discussion saying that these are some of the pain points. And if here I have highlighted that if we are not doing it, we will be facing the sprint failures regularly. So that's when the manager agreed and gave the time for discussion. So I presented these pointers and gave the proposed solution also. So some of the ideas were to maintain, restructure our backlog refinement processes, check the feasibility of allowing AI capabilities or utilizing the AI capabilities. So something like this I had come up and I shared those. Now, I had also found out that ClickUp is the tool which can be integrated with Jira and which makes some processes easier when compared to Jira, because it gives a built-in functionality for all the things like tasks, documents, goals, whiteboards, chats, everything in one tool we can add up. So I presented all these things. Now, the other important thing is you identified the problems, you have come up with the solutions, but you should not go ahead and say, okay, I have discussed, now I am going to implement. No, it is that you have to allow the leaders to think and act by themselves. You allow them to be in the front so that they will share this, and um, it'll make the change process easier. So I did the same thing when
Aruna,
after
for the better
presenting
of
all
time,
this.
if you can just quickly wrap this in 1 minute.
Yes, sure. Okay. So now managers, with the help of managers, you know who all to be included, who are the other people that are to be taken into account so that the change process is easier. There will be other departments like um, L&D or the HR. So all those, they can come up. Now, once all these things are identified, the actual implementation comes from the team's level, right? So I followed the ADKAR method, where first I created the awareness, where you make the team understand like what is the actual issue they are facing, what is the pain that they are going through. Though they are doing it everything perfectly, they may oversee the result. So you have to highlight those results. So create that awareness. Then initiate the desire, how it is going to benefit them if they follow or implement these changes. And how to implement those changes, you have to create that awareness or allow the team members to think and come up with their own ideas to address these issues. So once you do that, the ownership will automatically come to the team members. They give the ideas, they take the ownership. So that is the creating, enabling them through the knowledge. And now allow them to have the ability to do that, how they can implement it actually. The most important thing is reinforcement. Now, as a Scrum Master, we have to ensure that the changes that are implemented are consistently being followed so that the team does not lose the focus. So with these things, with the Kotter's method and ADKAR model, the changes could be implemented. And what I understood was, when you accept the reality and allow the team, you give the autonomy to the team, the decisions taken by the team will benefit the team and the change implementation process becomes easy. Yeah, so the Scrum values or the transparency, inspection, and adaptability can be seen in actual practice. Thank you.
Thanks, Aruna. You saw, friends, it's not that you just came up with a wonderful idea to implement and everything will fall in place. Everyone will start jumping with joy. It does not work that way. You'll have to do lots of groundwork on people's side of the change management. Then only your change will be successful. And Aruna just now showed us, right, how she can use Kotter and Adkar's model to drive the change.
one point that I missed was to celebrate the small changes. It is a very important thing. So whenever the team does some change or they see some improvement, make sure that you celebrate so that it becomes a motivation for them.
Indeed.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity, Anand.
You're welcome. My pleasure always.
Thank you.
And friends, it's not just about doing the live execution. It's also preparing to answer. Now I've got very, very interesting interview question. Let me see who from my previous bootcamp people can answer this one. So the question is like this. So we see that the team's velocity is going up, but the stakeholder satisfaction is very low. So the team's say-do ratio, the commitment to the delivery is almost 95%, but business is still very, very frustrated. What would you do about this? Who's answering? Rohini? All right. How's the answer then?
Yeah, sure. Anand. First of all, thank you for this question, Anand. And I'm sure it's a tough spot because it's incredibly common to see teams, that are mathematically like perfect on paper or on dashboards, right? You're hitting every sprint commitment possible while the business stakeholders are really frustrated. Like, they're not getting any value out of it, right? So predictability, I would say, is meaningless if we are, delivering just a low quality product or not delivering much value to the stakeholders, right? And what I would like to say here is that this often happens, because the organization, like I'm just talking about the organization in general, they reward output over outcomes, like, as you mentioned, the velocity, right? So that is story points. So now if a team is, punished for missing some commitment, then obviously it's humanly, very natural to start playing it safe and, overestimating, padding the estimates, ignoring the technical debt, even if there is huge technical debt and they are aware of it. So all these, games start playing up and, the metrics wins, but the product definitely loses the market. So if I would like to give an example, so last year I joined a payments team working on a quick checkout feature for an e-commerce platform. So here, the team, consistently met their sprint commitments, but the business was very unhappy because the customers were just dropping off at checkout releases. They really needed some, quick hot fixes and a feature like, for example, save card, right? They had very low adoption rate. So here I worked with a team lead. His name was Karthik, and his particular team, which was working on this feature, had 98% the say-do ratio. Right, as you mentioned, like you mentioned, 95% here. It was 98% in my team, and the business head Neha here, she was very furious, like in all the stakeholder connects, that why every release we have is followed by a week of hot fixes. Karthik's team was so focused on closing the tickets, right, to keep the velocity stable. Again, the number game here, that they were bypassing the peer reviews and they were ignoring the feature waste here. So they were just you could say in terms of delivering, it's like delivering fast done. So what I did here is I didn't ask the team to suddenly just work harder, do like overnight or weekend work and all that. So what I did is I changed what we looked at. First, I visualized the whip aging and the post-release effects alongside the velocity metrics. In the retrospective, I showed the team that while we did what we said, the say-do ratio, the 40% of our capacity in the following sprints, they were just taken away or eaten by the rework that we did. So I facilitated a conversation here between Karthik and Neha to shift focus from the output to the outcome metrics. And that alignment was really critical, believe me. We agreed to lower the planned velocity by 20% to create a quality buffer. So here, what happened is, like, there's a new thing that I introduced, that is feature usage depth. That is a shared metric. So here, if a feature was done but no one used it, like in this case, it was the save card feature functionality. It didn't count much, right, as a success for the team. regardless of how many story points it carried. So initially velocity dropped when we applied this and we agreed that okay, let's have some quality buffer. The velocity dropped, and there was pressure from the PMO as well, PMO team. But I'm so happy to say that within 3 months, the hotfix weeks disappeared. And Neha's trust, the stakeholders' trust returned because the features actually worked so well. So here I would say, Anand, that my approach is that don't optimize velocity in isolation, just as a metric or a productivity or, story points. But it's very important that we balance it with quality and value metrics. Because, that at the end of the day, that's what the business actually feels and looks forward to, the value. So that's what I would say about this, Anand.
Wow, Rohini, I really like the confidence with which you put this answer. All
Thank
right,
you.
friends, let's take a step back and think what you just now watched. How Anu, Rajlakshmi, Pragati, Aruna, Himanshu, Rohini, when they spoke, were they sounding like they were trying to remember some of the definitions that they have mugged up? Did they sound like they were trying to recite a YouTube video? No, they were speaking with absolute authority. Why? Because they were not guessing. They were not trying to recollect. They were explaining the work that they have actually done. That right there, that calmness, that undeniable confidence, that's exactly what the hiring manager is looking for. And now let's have a very honest conversation. Most people will leave this session, wake up tomorrow, and go back right to searching for top 50 interview questions, top 50 Scrum Master interview questions, chasing another certificate, and just hoping that the interviewer asks those set of easy questions only. And they will stay exactly where they are, disappointed. But few of you watching here right now will realize something very fundamentally different. You cannot memorize your way to the position. If you want to sit in an interview and speak with that same exact authority as these people did just now, you have to get your hands dirty. You have to build that real foundation. You cannot fake with memorizing interview questions and practicing it. Until your foundation is very strong, you'll not be able to do that. And that happens when you execute it. I run a mentoring program for exactly same reason. It's not a crash course. It's not a weekend certification. It's not a cheat sheet. It's an execution bootcamp, which builds your portfolio. And no, I'm not going to share a payment link right away. I don't operate like that. I don't want your money if you're not ready to go through that grind. I'm not there if you're looking for a magic pill. But yes, if you're tired of all those theory, memorizing, mock interviews, but if you're still seeing your great career not accelerating, let's talk. I'm sending you my mobile number. Most of you already have it. Send me a WhatsApp message, and I'm happy to have a conversation with you. Let's chat. Let's see how your career is aligned. Let's figure out how can I help you wherever you are stuck, and how can this mentorship take you exactly where you want to grow. You have seen real execution looks like. Now it's for time for you to decide how do you want to take your journey. So thanks everyone for joining today. We are on time and looking forward to connect with you. Best of luck for your journey, and I'm glad and happy to be part of your journey. Have a great weekend, friends. Take care. Bye.